Mr. Mayor, just take us back 10 years. How did you find out about this?
I was having breakfast at the Peninsula Hotel about 6 miles from here, Midtown Manhattan, and I was told that a twin-engine plane had hit the North Tower and that there was a bad fire here. So I didn't know how bad it was until I actually got here. About a mile away, I saw a big explosion. It was the second plane. I knew it was a terrorist attack. And when I got basically over there, I can see it where I was, I saw a man throwing himself out of the 100th floor. And that really changed all my emotions. That said to me, this is much worse than anything we ever faced before. We're going to just have to do the best we can. And that's when I really knew how bad it was. But it wasn't until then that until I actually got here and I saw the flames and I saw people throwing themselves out of the window, I said, my goodness, this is the worst that we've ever faced, and we just better pray to God that we can do the right job.
A lot of people, there was a report that you were dead.
There was. In fact, a little while ago, I met Dick Grasso again. And Dick reminded me that he thought I was dead for about 20 or 30 minutes. We were trapped in a building about 2.5 blocks right back there when in fact, I was waiting for a call from the Vice President. White House was on the phone. I was waiting for Dick Cheney's call. The phone went out. The building started to shake, looked like an earthquake, and the first tower had come down, hit our building. We were trapped there for about 20 or 30 minutes, and people couldn't reach me, and that's why they thought we had been crushed with that first building. But then we got out. We had to go through a basement, through an underground passage, and we got into another building, and I got out, and the police commissioner and my deputy mayors.
You were on the scene immediately, and as you just said, that when you saw that fellow jump out of that building, you knew how bad it was. You became known as America's mayor that day.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I did.
And, what was that like? I mean, you immediately sensed how awful this was.
It was trying to keep your emotions under control and saying to yourself, I can't react to this now because I have to think about how do we evacuate these people? How do we get the equipment down here? We were very worried about future attacks. We were told there were 7 or 10 planes that were unaccounted for. We were very worried there'd be further attacks, suicide bombings. So half my attention was directed to here, and the other half of my attention was the rest of the city. You know, where were they going to attack again? So I had so much to think about that even though I was being told about the death of Father Judge and some of my best friends, I had to just suppress it and just say, well, I got to stay together. If I don't stay together, everybody around me isn't going to be able to do it.
You think it changed the country?
Sure, it changed the country. Mostly in good ways. I think it made us more realistic about the threat that we face. I think we have much better intelligence today. I think spiritually we're stronger. We have to remind ourselves of that. We were attacked with the worst attack in the history of this country, and we survived it. And the city is bigger, stronger. You know, twice as many people live down here now as before September 11th. So if the terrorists thought they were going to destroy this place is twice as big as it was before. So we showed a lot of resiliency that we need to remind ourselves of. And we had a tremendous unity. I just met with Hillary Clinton, again, now the Secretary of State. Hillary was the senator then. She and I were politically opposites. We worked very closely together, developed tremendous respect for her. We need to kind of apply that to some of our other problems.
I don't think there's any question. The country came together and was closer for a time there than any time that I could remember since World War II.
Right.
And I was a little boy during World War II. I can remember that. But sometimes I wonder if this happened again. You think we'd come together?
Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. President Obama said that about a year and a half ago. He said if we were attacked again, we'd be able to handle it. And some people got a little annoyed that he said that. They thought it was the wrong thing. I thought it was absolutely the right thing to say. If we got attacked again, and it was the same kind of situation where our freedom was in jeopardy, our future was in jeopardy, we'd forget about all these petty differences that we have. You know, it's like when you find out that somebody you love is ill or just died. All those little small things you're thinking about go away. Well, that's what would happen then. But I wish we could apply some of that to some of the other things we face, which are almost as big. I mean, our economy is now a national security issue. Not just a debate about one ideology or the other. It's hurting our national security because our economy is so bad. Well, we should get over being Republicans and Democrats and think as Americans and get it solved.
Are you thinking about running for president?
I'm thinking about it, not today, but I'm going to sort of put my thinking off for a couple of weeks until I get over the emotion of this and see where everything stands. I understand the realistic problems I'd have getting nominated, so I have to take that into consideration. And around September 11, I don't like to think about politics as much. And I really do think the election is, one of the things the President said the other night, that the election's a long time off. We've got to get some things done before we get to that election. Otherwise, nobody's going to have a good chance of straightening this place out in 2013. I think Republicans and Democrats should figure out how to meet each other somewhere in the middle where they both can claim victory.
What do you think of the president's speech?
I thought the president's speech wasn't bold enough. You know, I think he has to, you have to take on Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. I know it's very frightening, but the reason our budget is out of control is healthcare spending. You've got to come up with proposals for how to control it. All the rest of it isn't going to help very much. I agree with the payroll tax reduction, but it hasn't helped. We've had it for a year, it hasn't helped, not going to do much. Extending unemployment insurance is a humane thing to do, not going to create more jobs. So I was disappointed that there weren't any real proposals that would give confidence in the growth of our economy.
Mr. Mayor, what will you think of when you wake up on 9/11?
I don't know. Maybe I'll think about that man that I saw jumping out of the 101st. I don't know who he was, but he's in my thoughts all the time. Maybe I'll think about the construction workers. One of my best moments that day was about 5, 6 o'clock at night when I came back here for the second or third time. I was standing up north there, and I saw all these big men walking toward me. And they weren't firefighters, weren't police officers, they were construction workers. And I went up to one of them, I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "We came here to pick things up because we're big, and we can help." I said, "Well, you can, you're just gonna have to put hats and masks on." And about 300 or 400 of them just walked in and started picking things up. And then eventually it turned out to be about 1,000. And it made you feel like you weren't alone. It made you feel like, gosh, all these big men are going to come and help you and get you out of it. And that was true of the whole country. We got tremendous help from Mayor Daley in Chicago. He sent Chicago police officers here. We got tremendous help from Governor Bush in Florida. He sent Florida State Police here. That was real important, because I think the people of this city felt alone and isolated, and the rest of America embraced New York, and I think that helped us get through it.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so
Thank you.
much.